Many people in the United States of America and worldwide are chronically dehydrated. I would say anywhere from 70 to 85% of the population is heavily dehydrated. People aren't drinking enough fluids, and the fluids that people are drinking are often the wrong fluids. So we live in a culture where the fluids people do consume are often tap water, soda pop, sweetened juices and sugary concoctions and beer and alcohol and stuff of that nature. Many of the fluids that we're drinking, even though they're fluid, they're not hydrational to the body because the body doesn't like all the processed bullshit. The body doesn't like having to filter out all of the sugar and all the processed constituents, the preservatives, the coloring agents, etc. So to follow my health protocol, you're going to need to be drinking quite a bit of fluid because, I know from my research and I know from just my own personal discernments and observations out here that I can tell just by looking at most people that they're dehydrated. Like I said, most of the people are drinking the wrong fluids. So you could possibly be drinking your daily recommended amount of liquid, but if it's soda and all this other shit, it's not the right fluid to begin with, and it's not hydrational to the body. So you need to get on things like clean, restructured water that you filter at home. The best water in today's polluted world that you could drink is water that you process and filter and remineralize on your own accord. Plastic bottles are not part of my health protocol. Buying water from the store is not part of my health protocol. You need to make an investment, purchase a quality filter or a distiller, and begin filtering the garbage, the wastes, the pollutive residues, all of the accumulative poisons, the radioactive elements, plutonium, parasites, scaling lime, hydrofluorosilicic acid, and chlorine and chloramines out of your water. It may be convenient to go and buy your bottled water, but not only is bottled water horrible for your health, it's also horrible for the health of the planet. So, people ask me sometimes, hey, Brando, how much do I need to spend to get a distiller? You can get a distiller for $180 and begin today distilling all of the garbage out of your tap water. So these are little tiny investments that should be made to increase the health in your life, to increase your well-being, to increase your vitality, your energy, and your strength. So, just a brief message about water. I drink about a quart of water or 4 cups of water per 60 pounds of body weight. Right now, I fluctuate between 170 and 180 pounds. So I drink about I drink close to a gallon a day of water throughout the day. And if you're constipated currently, if you have sluggish digestion, start drinking a quart of water per 60 pounds of body weight, and do that for 2 months, and I have a good feeling that your digestion is going to get much better. Because again, many of us are eating sticky foods. Many of us are eating foods that leave behind residues. Many of us are eating foods here that have a difficult time being eliminated out of the eliminative channels. They have a difficult time being broken down in the small intestine and excreted out of the large intestine. So one of the greatest ways to help things get moving is to encourage movement in the body by introducing the proper amounts and the proper quality of water into your system. The body's like a fountain. It's like a biological fountain. It likes flow. And if you're not putting in the right fluids that create the right flow, then there's your problem. I fill up mason jars every day with clean, restructured water that I make at home. Right here is the distilled water in a teaspoon of sodium bicarbonate. And this is a tea concoction that I make that has gotu kola, alfalfa, pau d'arco bark, also known as tahibo. It's got calendula flowers, chrysanthemum, I believe burdock root, ginger rhizome, just all sorts of stuff. All sorts of stuff. And, you know, tea is one of the cheapest ways that you can begin introducing natural elements and real nutrition into your body. So if you are on a budget, if you don't have a lot of money to spend on all this expensive health food like the Aphanisomenon flossaqua blue-green algae and the shilajit and all these more expensive herbs like Bacopa brahmi and false unicorn root, you can go the budget route, the grassroots route, and source yourself and get like 10 pounds of herbs, of different herbs, and buy in bulk. And you know, you can get multiple bags of herbs and start making your own formulations, your own tea formulas. And for under $100, you can get enough tea that would last you a year, depending on how heavily you use it. So many people just like to complain. Many people have no clue that you can get very healthy, very cheap, for a very minimal amount of money. That's what I mean. Cayenne pepper, incredibly cheap and incredibly effective. Gotu kola, incredibly cheap and incredibly effective. Hawthorn berries and hawthorn leaf, very cheap and very effective. Garlic, very cheap and very effective if taken in the right manner and if taken raw. Oil of oregano, cheap and very effective. And yes, it's about $30 to $40 for a 2-ounce bottle, but once you realize you only need a drop or two of it a day, you'll realize that can last you over a year. That's cheap. $40 for a superfood like oil of oregano is incredibly, you know, that's a good deal. And if you are going to use oil of oregano, you're going to want to use oregano from Greece, and you want the strain Organum vulgare, I believe it's called, and that's the medicinal oregano. Excuse me. Organum vulgare is the most effective form of oregano to use medicinally because it is high in concentrations of an active component called carvacrol. And carvacrol is very, very abundant in oil of oregano that's grown in Greece, particularly Organum vulgare. And, you know, it's antimicrobial, antifungal, antiparasitic, antibacterial. Great substance. So I was going to make this video about my Kundalini health protocol, but I'm going to make a separate video later today just dedicated to talking about that. I'm nearing completion with that protocol, and I want to give a little information about it for those who are interested. So check out, or keep an eye out for that video if you're interested in my protocol. And you know, the protocol will come with hours of footage explaining how to use the protocol. So my protocol, you get a written document and you get a video document that you use at the same time. So as you look through the written document and take notes and highlight certain things, you're watching the video at the same time. Because there's certain things that are easier to explain via video. So not only are you going to get the health protocol, you're going to get the video that, you know, explains how to use it and how to live how to fucking use it properly is what I'm getting at. So I'm gonna be offering that very cheap, and you know, you're not only gonna get just a little ebook, but you're gonna get a lot of video material as well. So check that out if you're interested in my work, if you're interested in what I'm doing here on planet Earth. If you're interested in cleansing parasites and getting rid of the fecal impactions and all the years of accumulated poisons within the system, check out my Kundalini health protocol. But getting back to the short little rant, I just wanted to make a video essentially about chronic dehydration. Again, people are heavily dehydrated here in the Matrix. And, you know, drinking tap water is not going to hydrate you to the level that you want to be hydrated. You want clean fluids in your system. Your body is like a biological filter, a biological fountain. You want to put the cleanest, most spiritually activated, most healthy water that you can, you want to be putting that into your organism. Your body is largely composed of liquid, of water. Wouldn't it make sense to put clean water in your system? Or does it make more sense to put water in your system that's filled with hydrofluorosilicic acid, pipe residues, scaling lime, inorganic compounds, accumulative poisons, parasites, radioactive elements, etc.? I mean, come on, people. Do some solid research on what they've found in tap water, and you will not want to be drinking it. Many people are caught up in this convenience lifestyle where they think, oh, I work all day, I don't have time to filter my water, I don't have time to take care of my health. All I have time to do is work and come home and nuke something in the microwave and drink my dirty tap water. So it's just the programming here in the Matrix is exponential. And, you know, many of the people I know a lot of wealthy people, and none of them even have water filters. They have all this other stuff, all this material garbage that isn't serving them in their health, but they don't have a fucking water filter or even a shower dechlorinator or some of the other essential stuff that is needed to get your life and your health back on track. So it's just because you're wealthy doesn't mean that you're successful. That's what I'm getting at. Just because you have money doesn't mean you're an intelligent person. So many people have all this money, but they don't even have their health. So we live in a very strange world. We live in the land of the dead. And I believe that the healthier you get through the application of herbalism and colon cleansing and tissue regeneration and meditation, fasting and things of that nature, I believe that the further you go with that, the more you'll be able to realize and understand what it is I mean when I say we live in the land of the dead. Kundalini has showed me that we are only existing at a small, tiny iota of our potential, a tiny fraction of our potential. And when we're only operating at a small fraction of our potential, it means in a sense that we are partially dead because we're not using all of the faculties that we could be using. Consciousness is supposed to be very advanced, very interdimensional, multidimensional. But we're not experiencing Christ consciousness. We're not experiencing higher consciousness because we're dead. We're walking dead. We literally are using, like, you can think of mankind as running on like 1% of their battery. It's not the best example, but it works. Imagine if people were operating at their full electrical charge, their full... Just what I'm getting at, man, is that we are literally walking dead here in the Matrix. And until planetary Kundalini comes aligned and until planetary Kundalini comes back and enlightens this planet and its people, I fear that we're going to continue going down this downward spiral of death. I mean, this culture worships death. This is the culture of death. So be careful out here. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The way is narrow. It is not broad. Watch your fucking step. So, just a brief little video. How much time do we have left on the battery? I got some time. We'll keep ranting. A little sip of water. So, again, if you have the money, get a water filter right now. Just do it. Go and get something. And if all you can afford is a cheap little one of those water pitcher filters that you run the sink water through and it goes through a carbon filter, get one, man. Anything is better than nothing. Your higher self recognizes all the steps that you take towards getting healthy. And if all you can afford to get is a cheap filter, but in your heart you do it because you want yourself to get healthy and you want to do what's best for you, your higher self is going to recognize that and start aligning the circumstances in your life so that you can experience better health and attain that water filter that you want, and get all this nice gadgetry out here that is somewhat essential in today's extreme world. We live in an extreme environment, so some tools are needed due to that. You need a water filter. You need an air filter for your house so that you don't breathe all of the garbage floating around in the air from all of the chemtrail geoengineering aerosols and all the brake dust and all the other pollutive bullshit that is hanging in suspended form in the air that we breathe. Man, I've had visions of what Earth is like when we're, how would I say this? I've had visions of what Earth looks like when it isn't polluted. I've had visions through the application of shamanism of what Earth looks like when it's in its pristine form, when there's no pollution in the sky. I've seen what the Garden of Eden looked like. I know what this planet is supposed to look like, and I can tell you right now that what we're experiencing right now in the Matrix is not what this planet is supposed to be. We're supposed to be experiencing life within the garden. Right now we're experiencing life within the electromagnetic pollution of the Matrix. Not only the electromagnetic pollution, but the physical pollution, all of the, I mean, look at all the roads that have been built and all the land that has been destroyed. And you can tell that you're not in a spiritually realized and spiritually activated and awakened society or culture when you have to use things like the internal combustion motor to get from point A to point D, from point A to point B. We're supposed to be using our Merkaba light body vehicles to teleport and bilocate, and even the vehicles and the process of driving a vehicle is a form of mind control, because it makes you think that you don't have the ability to teleport, etc. And what are you talking about, bro? You're in a car? Yeah, well, I'm sorry I can't be completely 100% activated all the time with my Merkaba activated, with all this electromagnetic pollution out here and all these things out here that have been constructed to keep you from being inside of your Merkaba, etc. That's why many people here in the Western world, when they do have a spontaneous Kundalini awakening or an experience with the Merkaba, it's brief. It's a very short experience before the electromagnetic pollution kicks in and shuts off your Merkaba. So just a brief video. I'm going to cut this one short. Thank you for watching. I hope that my channel can inspire you today to go get a water filter if you haven't already done that.